a safe place, yeah. Your skin, the touch, the kiss, the rush, too much, and here it comes. When your lips touch mine, it's the kiss of life. I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning. We touch like it's our first time. Oh, I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning now. Just you and me and the coats in the back room, learning things they don't teach in the classroom. Now you're here, I feel the fear, but everything is oh so clear. I've been addicted to you since it first hit, out of control like a surge of electric, yeah. Your skin, the touch, the kiss, the rush, too much, and here it comes. When your lips touch mine, it's the kiss of life. I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning. We touch like it's our first time. Oh, I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning now. Your skin, the touch, and kiss, too much. Your skin, the touch, and kiss, the rush. Your skin, the touch, and kiss, too much. The rush, the rush, the rush, the rush. When your lips touch mine, it's the kiss of life. I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning. We touch like it's our first time. Oh, I know that it's a little bit frightening. We might as well be playing with lightning now.
You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the door. Don't need makeup to cover up. Being the way that you are is enough. Everyone else in the room can see it, everyone else but you. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know, you
like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know you're beautiful. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'll understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful.
But think about it. Is the scene, for example, for a thriller, for suspense? Is for horror? Again, know your genre. And once you know your genre, I'm going to find out the perfect inspiration for that. For example, I use music. Mostly not people singing because it brings me distraction. But this very, this music that is very atmospheric, mostly sounds. And that can help with the scene, to write the scene. So this is basically what I was trying to say. Don't wait for inspiration, go after it. Because the more you try to wait for inspiration, it never comes. And that's pretty much it. This was my 3 I found on the internet. And thank you so much as well to bring this up. So yes, I don't have basically a specific favorite code. I think each author will bring their codes, and I think each code is relevant for the thing, always for the writers to want to seek out some, okay, this can help me, etc. So the next question is from Penny from Houghton Write-Sheet. I think I'm pronouncing this correct. If not, I apologize, Penny. So, what do you hope readers will take away from your book? Okay, so this is a very interesting question. So, I am hoping that the reader is gonna at least understand the theme of my book, or even if they don't, they start to get some crumbs here and there, because it's going to be a book series, as I've said. So each character has his own way they're going to accept their shadow. So how they accept it is going to take quite a while, because of course this is still a book. So, but the important is to take the message and to take how it is done, etc. So basically, I'll say is that, of course, they take it that they can take other things as well, because readers are fascinating. Readers are fascinating. So they take a lot of things. And perhaps sometimes they can stuff that writers never found out to. So that's the interesting part of all of this. But yeah, thank you for the question. And now the last one is from James Guybridge, and he asks, I am currently writing a book and wondered, how many drafts did you go through and wrote to finished product? Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know, James, because when I am writing, at least I try to get my skeleton, my story right. So the skeleton list, the idea, the theme, etc. So then the rest is easier to do it. How many drafts after that I do? I don't know. I do not count them. I do not count them. And I think if somebody does, well, that's on their own right. I mean, each writer is their own mind. But I think sometimes counting how many drafts you have done can, I will say, delay you to be immersed in your writing, immersed in your story. So yeah, my answer is, I don't know. I don't have any count. I don't count my stuff. And this was my answers for the questions for this week. So I want to thank you, Kay, Emily, Penny, and James for reaching out. I really, really appreciate it. And for those who are listening, if you are curious to reach out to me, maybe you are a writer, you want to reach out and be interviewed, reach me out to me on thedreamcatcherradio.com.uk. Or if you're a reader, you can also discuss about reading as well, which will be very, very interesting. I'm really trying to find a reader out there who would like to join the conversation with me as well, because if you're a writer, you're also secretly a reader. Remember that as well. So yeah, or even if you want to, just like these people just reach out and ask me a question, make an observation, or even know. You can tell I'm reading this book and I'll suggest because it's very interesting. So yeah, do that. And we finished now. Well, I finished. In this instance, is me. I finished to answer the questions. So now let's start our show with our amazing first gothic band of this week, and it's called Seraphim Twin, Salvation. So it's a gothic rock band formed in 1995 and was disbanded in 1996. It's a UK gothic band, so this is pretty much what I could find. So let's listen. Seraphim Twin, Salvation. And this was Seraphine Twin, Salvation. I think it was a very good start for us to also recap what we have done on not in last week, because we're talking with Bradley, but last week, if you like. So we we actually learned about poetry genres, and we saw some examples. So we've learned epic poetry, and the examples are Beowulf, Paradise Lost, and Epic of Gilgamesh, The Light Verse, Macavity, The Mystery Cat by Thomas Stanton's Eliot, I've Got an Apple Ready by John Walsh, Was an Apple Pie by, or this one at least wasn't by Anonymous, and of course I give the resources as well. So the poetry genre is ode, and we saw examples, for example, Prize for My Mother by Wendy Grossman, and For Everyone Who Tried to The Splitter Before Cinderella by Ariana Brown. Also saw narrative poetry, and there are some good examples. So, for example, The Spider and the Fly by Mary Oaty, the Ballad of the Harp Weaver by Edna St. Vincent Millay, and also the haiku. And examples is In the Moonlight by Joseph Bosson, The Taste of Rain by Jack McCullough, and also Cherry Blossoms by Kobayashi Issa. And then we went on and another ones, which is Sonnet, the Paratrash Sonnet, the Cantated Sonnet, the Chortle Sonnet, the Sonnet Renouvelé, also known as Ground of Sonnets, Ascendant Sequence, the Spenserian Sonnet, and the Stretch Sonnet, and also the Submerged Sonnet. And examples will be is How Do I Love Thee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, That Nature is a Heraclitean Fire by Gerald Manley Hopkins, When I Consider How My Light is Spent by John Milton, and also the other one is Free Verse Non-Metrical. And we saw examples of the Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams, and the Cantos by Ezra Pound, and The Garden by Hilda Dolittle. And then we still do drama genres, which is tragedy, comedy, melodrama, and historical drama. And then we stop there. So now we're going to see a little bit about the versatility of genre and what does this mean. So, subgenres. All literary genres have their own litters of adorable little subgenres. While subgenres might seem even more restrictive because they bring ultra-specific expectations, that specificity actually helps you create something less generic. If a literary genre interests you, explore this subgenre. You are bound to find that there's more than one way to be a genre writer. And I agree with that, because let's say, for example, that you want to try, romance and Lovecraftian horror, for example. Why not? I mean, if you love romance and the Lovecraft world, which is this very cosmic horror, which is what it is, explore that. Why not? Maybe your character just loves aliens and these very abstract beings. Who knows? It could be. This is what talking about the subgenres is. Explore if you really like this, if you like something, explore the subgenre of that to create something new. For example, romance is someone that likes romance but also wants fantasy, so romance. So it comes the word for it. The gender bending. There is no law saying you can't mix different literary genres. If you want to write a sci-fi mystery, go for it. Historical fantasy, have at it. Just decide which genre is your primary genre so you can write it for the correct audience and market or pitch it accordingly. Make sure you fulfill the essential bits of that genre and incorporate tropes that make sense. That way, you offer readers something different without taking away the conventions they have come to love. Again, this is basically just mixing genres. This is basically what it's telling. Of course, as it says here, I completely agree. make sure it's for the correct audience and market or pitch, in pitches as well. Because let's say you want to do this and you want to send this for a publisher, you have to know first and most if they're going to agree with that, and if they do, you have to be very specific what you're going to tell them is going to be about your book, at least the genre. And also, you have to do some research for the authors to do the same thing as you, which is another task. It requires a lot of your time, but it's necessary, it's what it is. And now this one, the evolution of literally genres. Genre conventions evolve with changing trends, experimentation, and even some societal shifts. New tropes emerge, and sometimes certain stories within a category become so popular they inspire entirely new subgenres. There you go, cozy mystery developed in the late 20th century as a callback to the golden age of detective fiction, the Agatha Christie days, basically. Paranormal romance has roots in Gothic romance, but the subgenre, as we know it, is only a few decades old. And here in the 21st century, enthusiastic consent is an increasingly common ingredient in spicy romance novels. All this to say, you can honor your genre and let your life experiences, old wild, and individually influence the way you work within the confines of the category. So I think what I'm trying to say is just if you like a certain genre, it's just for you just to explore more and just to see what happens. Because yes, they give you the examples of the cozy mystery and paranormal romance as well. So this stuff alone, of course, they are also blending genres, and they are playing with the genre they mostly like, if you can imagine. But yes, it's just evolution. Writing should not just be stuck on cosmic horror, for example, romance, thriller, horror. The subgenres helps to diverge from that, and I myself call that an evolution, step forward in the writing. Or for example, you can write your genre but explore your craft. For example, how would you experiment in your writing in terms of the words and the paragraphs, etc.? How would you explore a character that's speaking with a ghost? For example, how you play with would you play with the letters, so lettering, for example? Will you play? I don't know. For example, would you say that each time the ghost speaks, their phrase is in a different type of lettering? Is that what it is? If not, how would you play it? This is also the evolution of writing. It's not just stuck with the genre, but also how do you present? For example, when I'm writing my book, I like to give some kind of rhythmic stuff. And I know because it's mostly on this very poetic thing. Not more poetic, but very close by. I tend to some rhyme on it as well. And sometimes I break phrases to be interesting, not to just be this old pile of text, because we also have to play with that as well. So this type of thing really helps to evolve also the genre and the subgenres as well. So play with that as well and see how it goes. Have fun. It's just saying you have fun. So I think it's a good moment to just a little bit to pause, but I think it's a very good one. Because before we see choosing your genre, I'm going to introduce you. This music actually was supposed to be played last week, but was some kind of interference with the Spotify, so it was really bad. So I wanted to play this music. It's a very interesting one, and this is our first metal band for this week. It is called Dagoba, the Grand Emptiness. So it is a French metal band known for the dynamic fusion of industrial, groove, and melodic death metal. They formed in 1997. The song delves into an overwhelming sensation of loss and the interconnectedness of overwhelming sensation of loss and the connectedness of existence, using metaphors like sudden blackout and nothingness to convey the profound impact of emptiness and the shared human experience of grief. So, let's listen. Dagoba, the Grand Emptiness. well, this was Dagoba, the grand emptiness. It just really shows you that metal just goes, beyond America, beyond UK, goes travels around the world. So for you guys have an idea, I'm going to present today a Mexican death metal, so you guys can just really see, how I really try to bring other countries as well. So if you are interested in one, just will support the artists and let them know that you really like them. So yes, I really hope you guys really have enjoyed. So we just now learn the versatility of genre. And this means you can explore the subgenre of your genre that you like. You can blending genres, and you can also make an evolution of the literature genres that you're writing as well. And that's pretty much it. So now let's see, choosing your genre. So how do you know which of the many literature genres out there is right for you? Start with what you love to read. In order to write any fiction category well, you need to study the genre. You also need to genuinely love it. If you got a passion for science fiction, but hard romance is where the money stick with sci-fi anyway. Do literally search to understand the convictions of the literary genres that interests you most. Will you find unique challenges involved? For example, if you want to write historical fiction, would you better enjoy doing research? If you want to write fun fantasy, you should know there's a ton of world building involved. And I back this up. When you find a genre that you like, might be right for you, try writing it and see how it goes. So yes, basically, as I've been saying for a couple of times now. So yes, this come across as write what you love, we love, and I would say yes, write what you love, because it becomes less like a job, if you like, and more like a passion. Some people say don't follow your passion. I say follow your passions. Do what you like, because at least you do it from your heart. You do something that you're going to be energized all day, and you're going to see, oh yes, this really brings me energy and just helps me to go through all day. And it says here right away, study the genre, see the tropes, how the good writers, do their how do they structure the plot. Which character, how do they do the characters as well, for example. What does it work in a specific genre as well? What does it really work? Is important, for example, the atmosphere, or for example, in this example, fantasy, the world building, for example. And I back up as well, yes, because my book is a lot of world building. It's not just one page; it's thousands, hundreds of pages. But I'm a little bit of the extreme, and I mean this because I like to imagine things from the beginning of the beginnings of the beginnings. When I mean beginnings of the beginnings is from where the universe was just black, nothing, no sound, no life, no light. It starts from there, and now I have to imagine how everything started. That's the challenge now of the world building of fantasy writers. I personally like from there, because it gives me, for example, to think about how my characters, what my characters have to excuse themselves, right, with their actions, with the motives they have, how the relationships they have with each other. Did it change? If so, how? What happened before, when everything was, let's say, all right, or at least in good terms, and everything is just, just not great. They're against each other. They're just, they get their own throats, There's stuff, no, a little bit of politics. Or if the politics, if it does exist, politics, did it change? If so, how? How was the country look like? Is there anything specific in their culture that is very different from the other ones? This type of things really helps to build a whole world building. It's why fantasy is so popular. It's because of the world building. I know readers are after the world building, and if it is new, even better. You can write stuff for them to see. Oh, is it like that? Oh, okay, that's interesting. And you want your readers to be interested and to keep reading, because they really want to know more about the world you're doing. So this what it is. Yeah, just see which genre interests you the most, and then start to do your research on that, because there's no other way around. And also, yes, read the books of your genre. again, read. Of course, if there is something that is very, I don't know, very, a little bit of a specific, and is not out there, that's fine. Do some, look for something similar. See what the authors are doing, so you have an idea why it works. You might do something different from them, but you're gonna share some similarities. You see, this is what I'm trying to say. So now, how to write in different genres? That's another good question as well. So, let's say you've been writing in one genre for a while, but now you want to branch out. How do you jump into a different fiction genre? Let's see some tips, at least the website really offers. Have good reasons for making the switch. An example of a good reason is that you love another genre and want to try it. As previously I have said, it's not a good idea to switch genres because just one more seems more lucrative. And it's true. Well, I think when people switch genres because it's more popular or because I honestly believe it gives more money, usually really brings bad, it's a bad idea. Because you are after the money and not the writing and not the story you want to tell. And this is why, yes, you should be aware of situations. For example, if you're working at the moment, yes, be mindful of that, and be mindful of the time you have opportunity to write. But don't try to go what is popular right now. Yes, it's going to give you money, but are you really enthusiastic to write about that? Are you really into your story, into your characters? Do you love them, even if they are really, really despicable people? This stuff you should question yourself this. So yes, I agree with you that if it has to be a very good reason. If you like another genre, switch for that, go for it as well. I don't see why not. It's something that you only want to try and see how it goes, and it's completely fine. But please, don't only see just because of money. Yes, money helps to be stable, but it's not everything in the world. Just, at least in my opinion, of course. I don't want you to think that is the only solution. No, I encourage every single listener to me to think for yourselves. Look for your path, but my advice is don't do it just because it brings you money. Do it because you are passionate about it, because you want to tell your story on your own voice, and then the money comes because the people are interested, because you did your work, because you work hard in your story, and you did everything you could. And you, of course, you have great support as well, because I believe, yes, support like an agent or even a friend who would like to read your story and is good at grammar, for example. That could be, it can give you for free. For example, I don't know. You have to figure out, is your story, is a writer path, so you have to figure out what to do. I'm just giving you examples what you can do. But yeah, this is basically just have a good reason to switch genre. Another good reason is get to know your new genre better. Again, it's the same cycle over and over. Read current bestsellers and check out their reviews. Hang out in forums to see what the readers are saying. Look for books, articles, or even classes that explore the genre in depth. Join a writing group dedicated to the category. Learn everything you can. So, in this specific thing, I do agree, learn everything you can about this genre you want to switch. Join definitely writing groups, because you're going to realize people can just do, a proofreading. You can also ask for be accessible reader as well if you are writing an experience which is not yours. So I think this is a very good one as well. Read the current bestsellers. I would say really depends. I say just read the genre of the book you want to switch for. It doesn't matter for me if it is a bestseller or not. Sometimes bestsellers perhaps can be not your cup of tea. And what it is, then what? There's other options. For example, self-publishing authors out there who are absolutely great and fantastic. And I interview them as well. For example, you can listen an interview. If you listen and you think, oh, okay, this is good. This is a genre I'm attracted to. Listen what they say. Listen what they say. I don't know about the writing process. And then see and go to the website. Then, for example, buy the book, and then that's it. That's another option. You don't need to go to a bookstore to buy a bestseller. If you think it's not for you, you have other options. Self-publishing is out there, and it's here to stay, and it's going to stay for a long. I really reckon it will stay long. So yeah, as you can see, you have other options. But again, I do agree. Read the genre, join the writing groups. You can also look for articles and classes that explore the genre as well to help you to figure it out as well. And then dedicate yourself to that new genre, because you're switching. So it is your readers are going to expect certain things from that genre, and you have to be really aware of that. Another aspect is to consider using a pen name for your new genre. Well, I will say really depends, but let's see let's see what the website really says. So, or don't. Many authors create pen names for different literary genres so they can brand their author personas accordingly. And if an author is famously associated with a specific category or fiction, a pseudonym can prevent their reputation from screwing up their marketability in a different genre. And yes, I mean, you want to create a pseudonym for your genre? Yeah, sure, why not? For example, the most popular one genre I can just really say, which is used a lot of pseudonyms, is erotica. I mean, yes, I mean, people, is the name itself implies what the reader is going to expect. So, of course, people tend to do pseudonyms because for many reasons. So, each writer is anonymous in what they want to create, but it's a very good example. People create pseudonyms. Or it doesn't need to be in erotica; it can be other genres as well. It's just a question of if you want to do it or not yourself, and if you see it is worth it or not. Because on the day you're gonna say, well, I'm not gonna even bother with this. I'm just gonna put my name and that's it. So it's up to you. At the end of the day, as it says, consider using a pen name for your new genre, or don't. So up to you. You figure out. You're the author, so do it. If you think, if not, oh well, as well. So, authors writing genres that have crossovers in terms of audience. They might choose to write under or one name, so fans who love both genres can find and devour other books. So this is another reason why you can also switch your name. So, now before I tell you how genre impacts the storytelling, I think it's a good moment for us to listen our second Gothic band this week. And this one is Portuguese from my country. So the name is I Am the Shadow, Winning. So it's a Portuguese Gothic band from 2015. I Am the Shadow is a musical project began in 2015 by the Portuguese musician Pedro Code, the Dream Cossillan and Rainy Days Factory. The artistic influences of I Am the Shadow are varied and navigate the blackest and sharpest sounds of the 80s. I Am the Shadow is modern dark romance, when melody and words touch deeply, perpetuating the desire that crosses and overcomes fear. So, let's listen now with a big part of me with you today. I Am the Shadow, Winning. And this was I Am the Shadow winning. I really hope you guys really enjoyed the song. And I think let's probably continue sharing more songs as well before I start to start the beginning with the show. So my second metal band for this week, as I've said, it is called Tranatopsy, Artificial Evolution. It is a Mexican death metal band formed in 2012. The songs talk about metaphysics, the human mind, thoughts, and future. This music in particular talks about the humanity creating a super smart machines that eventually replaces humans. The lyrics describe a future where artificial intelligence grows so powerful that it becomes a new god, reducing the human race to living in a digital simulation. I'm going to read a little bit of the lyrics. I think, yes, this is actually the last part of the song. Also be mindful, I think they're going to say a bad word, so also be mindful as well with that. So it goes like this. Artificial symbiotic evolution. There's no need to think anymore. Artificial symbiotic evolution. A new era is coming to the world. To the world. To the world. The final resting place for humans is a computer-regenerated heaven. So, let's listen. Tranatopsy, Artificial Evolution. Well, this was Thanatopsy Artificial Evolution. I think this music is very interesting because as I've just read to you the lyrics, there's no need to think anymore. Reflect a little bit what's happening nowadays with AI. People do not need to think anymore. It's just there. They don't need to learn anymore. It's just in a click. We don't need to learn anything. It's just on a click of the internet, isn't it? So I think music like this really makes reflect. I think the society, I think we need to just bring back the middle ground of things. I'm not against technology at all. I'm really pro technology, but I think also we should be very very mindful of technology is used and for how purpose is being used, because one starts to get I'm sorry, to get overused and abused, it becomes a problem. And I think people should just pause and reflect on that. So because it really saddens me to think that many writers out there are doing the hard work of learning the craft, learning the genre, learning the tropes, etc. For then what? To be accused of using AI, which they never used in their entire lives. And those who are using AI are the ones being applauded. We really need to start to reflect on this and how AI is really messing with our lives in a very poorly way, very very poorly way, unfortunately, very poorly way, not in a positive, and also the damage it does to as well to the environment and to us as well, because it is. So I think we really need to start to give the big fight, the big fight. So now returning to our show, we just show at least on the notes, to choose your genre. Of course, start with what you like, then export the genre, also study the genre as well. And if you genuinely love something, just write about it, just write about it and read about it as well. And also, if you want to switch to write in different genres as well, so it can be many reasons why you want to switch for a genre. It can be because you like other genres as well, and that's completely fine. It also means that you have to know that genre as well. You have to know, and I also told you that, for example, you can go to a group of writers and just get information out there. Or, for example, again, in a click, you can go to the internet as well and get information. Or you can join a course of writing and learn from that as well. And if you want, you can also use a pen name or a pseudonym name, only if you want. This one in particular is up to you. I would say it's completely up to you. If you think it helps you as a writer for some privacy, sure. If you think it's not needed, if you want some privacy, that's fine as well for you. It's on you, writer. You decide your fate. It's all on you. So now let's see how genre impacts the storytelling, because it does. So once you've chosen your category of fiction, how should that genre influence the way you tell a story? Now let's see the elements that actually influences the tone. Do readers of this genre expect something playful and humorous, airy and menacing, pensive and profound? The content. What types of characters, settings, and conflicts are common in stories like this? What tropes might your readers be hoping to see? So yes, the tone is very important for your story. Of course, also will it depends on the type of story. But for example, thriller, suspense, horror, cosmic horror, etc., are very important. The tone and the atmosphere is very important, because the readers are there, are sucked into that moment. Oh, is our protagonist going to capture the killer, for example? Is the investigation going well, or is that character going to survive the encounter with a specific higher being of the cosmos? Or they're going insane? This is stuff that your reader are sucked in. Or perhaps your story is very on the light side, perhaps it's a romance. Of course, as is intention as well, because each story is its tension. Others more others. But for example, does your main character is going to choose a specific other one, or they can choose both? For example, who knows? Who knows? Yes. Or for example, that they are so indecisive, they decided not to choose nobody in particular. So yes, we'll see the turn of your character. If it is a satire, it's humorous as well. So you already are expecting something from that. Also, the content, which is about the setting, conflict, and the tropes and such. So readers are expecting of this. So the writing style is this fiction genre known for short to the point sentences and concrete details, or is there room for figurative language, rich scene descriptions, and thematic reflection? So also the writing style is very important. Also as well, if you want to bend stuff, also explore, go forward as well. You just learn that you can also explore your writing, not just the genre itself, but also the writing. How do you convey that in words, in sentences as well? The pacing. How quickly the readers expect the action to move forward. Are they looking for a pace turner or something they can savor slowly? So yes, I do agree. Pacing is also very, very important. Some people might like it fast-paced stories, and some might like in slow burns. But also the genre has his own pacing as well. For example, fantasy, in my opinion, is one that you can go slow burn, and whatever you are writing. Because why? The readers want to know the journey of the protagonist or antagonist, even if you want to write in the villain's perspective as well. They want to know the world, how it works, what is happening, what are the symbolisms that you wrote on a dialogue, for example, or in a scene. Stuff like this. Or it's fast paced where things happen fast, and the protagonist, you explore the specific action, and then boom, things happen. So yes, pacing is very important as well. Emotion. When readers of this fiction genre pick up a book like this, what they are hoping for to feel? How can you create that emotion through our conflict characterization and setting? I say emotion is any genre. Even in horror, think about this. Let's say you're writing a specific scene when the character has been avoiding, let's say, a specific fear of their past. That fear comes in. They try to avoid, but they cannot. Anxiety arises. The fear still torments them. And he becomes more anxious and start to panicking. These emotions, anxiety, panic, are also valid. Emotion doesn't need to be sad or happy. It can be also anxious, fearful, or anger even. Some of your characters may be angry with something and they're going to express anger. You see, emotion is very important, whatever your story. Every genre is very important, the story. So keep that in mind as well. The ending. This is a big one. How will your readers expect this book to end? Do they want a happy conclusion, a devastating one, something shocking? And I will say, a bittersweet as well. Why not a bittersweet? Because your genre is going to tell you, for example, if you tell me you're going to write a romance, but then you're going to write, let's say, a not very good happy ending, which is also plausible. It can happen. But your story has to be focused to give to that conclusion. Usually, and I say usually, romance readers are expecting a happy ending. Usually. Doesn't need to be like this always. But if you are thinking, let's giving not happy ending on this, perhaps there's another subgenre intricate on that. For example, dark romance, for example. Or to do some expectations as well, go for it as well as we said it today. But think about the ending of your story. And think what the genre do we just expect the ending. So, and about everything of the genres, this is everything you need to know. You learn the genres, you learn also the target audiences, and now you also have learned the versatility of genre as well. So, this is everything you need to know. This is basically. But today, because it's not done yet, I was really this couple of no, it was actually yesterday. Yes, I was trying to see the things I haven't have talked about in the show. I may have touched on character development, but there are specific aspects of character development I think we need to discuss. And I think it will be very interesting to explore as well. Because character development, there's a lot of things. But to refresh a little bit, and I said to those who are listening to me since the beginning, when I realized, when I wrote this, when I realized there's so much to talk about, I said I'm going to say it again. Now going back to the things I think I haven't taught on the show, so just to go back and see the things, extra things. So this is one of these moments. So I'm going to read again about the character development, just a refresher, just a reminder. So let's begin on this. When writing a cast of characters, you have to know your characters well. Not just how they look externally and their favorite food or color, more importantly, their personality. Once you know who they are, you know on their fake, well, I'll call it fake needs, not because it's it's all they fear. It's what they think they need. It's what they think they need. But it's not what they really need. So as I call them, fake needs. Wants and what they really need for growth. And the fake needs, because usually a character has an idea of what they want, meaning they have a clear goal. However, this one is a false need. So it could be something they desperately avoid, hide, disguise, or struggle with. And when they face their false need and what they really need to grow, it can shock their, let me see here, their false needs, wants, and what they want to grow. Again. However, this want is a false need, as it could be something that desperately. Oh no, okay. I think I'm doing this right. Okay, so basically, the character development is to know what your character is try to explore what your character at first thinks they need. Because again, this false need, it's something they in their mind think, okay, I need this right now. And you can give them. But then they realize this is not what I needed. Not needed. And what they need mostly is mostly related to what the false need. So basically is the thing that they are avoiding, hiding, or desperately just don't want to see it right now because of whatever happened. And we know this is usually related with trauma. Let me just see here. So, yes, basically with that. So I'm just continuing reading here. I'm just trying to do this a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, so when they face their false need and what they really need to grow, it can shock with their personality or ideas. Yes, I want to say this, yes. Meaning it will create conflict and force the character to act. Sometimes the character will have to break a vow or promise to compromise their reputation or position in the world, but suffer the consequences of the decision. Yes, remember, consequences, action, consequences, action, consequences. And while they did this, they started realizing something was missing in their lives, realize their mistakes in life, the damage they caused to others or towards themselves. And even sometimes they don't change at all, but get knowledge of something they needed to realize in a specific situation. In other words, character development is a dynamic journey of the character throughout their goal while facing according to their personality, religious views, society, norms, culture, etc. Between their fake needs and the real need. So yes, this is all connected, and we've seen this very briefly as well. And if you really read any specific book you're reading right now, you will realize every character has a, let's say, yes, the false need that the story goes on, and then realize, or never they realize. Because yes, many people think that for character growth, character needs to change. Not specifically, no. The character doesn't need to change. Character actually can stay the same. What happens is, the character have been through a lot, they tried, and they tried a second time, a third time, and then said, not working, not for me, I'm sorry. And then they stay stagnant. That's also that's a different type of growth, but it's also growth. It's considered growth in the writing as well. So now let's see character goals that don't involve anyone's dead wife, because yes, the dead wife trope, it's very popular, but it's exhausting. Everyone, when someone is dead, that is a trope. Yes, it can bring it can bring sure stories like loss, grief, and stuff, but it's a trope. It's been overdone, and I think writers can think beyond that. So let's see what is suggested is. So there are a lot of pieces of writing advice you can ignore, but there is one you really shouldn't. You need to include character goals in your story. A character without some type of goal or motivation is just wandering through time and space, waxing poetic and self-indulgent introspection as a completely nebulous tide of their existence. So yes, for pardon me, for a plot to exist a story, a character has to have a motivation, very specific motivation. Without it, they're just wandering, doing nothing, but expecting things to happen, but they don't know why. So, give always a motivation for a character to do. Whatever the motivation is, it can be a motivation that is really not good at the beginning. So, okay, don't worry. Give them a growth then. Why not? And while there are some books that make this work, they are few and far between. Even a slice of life narrative as a character who wants something. Your self-indulgent character is like a reflecting on some unfilled desire that changes the troubled heart. Anyway, in case you're wondering about the title, which is character goals that don't involve anyone's dead wife, the wife in refrigerator trope, also sometimes called fridging, is considered a sexist and tired way to motivate a male character, and we don't do that sort of thing. Well, interest on that thing, but the thing is here with this is right. It's a trope that is so overdone, is exhausting. It's telling in the only reason a female character is in a story is to be saved. This is what it's saying here, and we know we can do better than that as writers. I'm a woman. I can do better than that. Even my female characters are not there to be safe. They have their own needs, values, and their own. They also. I have a character that doesn't really like a specific beings that are in my cosmology. She just doesn't like. She hates and despises them. So, and she's imperfect. So yes, writers, let's do better than this. Let's think about ways to make your characters better and interesting, specifically female ones. Yes, death in a story can bring interesting stuff about loss, grief, but don't just make calling of that. Think of other ways. How about somebody, I don't know, that is trying to prove themselves to somebody so desperately they forget about their own needs. This is a common experience for people. That's interesting as well. The person first needs to know that they also need to reflect on their needs. They need to think about themselves as well. So why not let the experience as well coming at the surface? And now then study and then incorporate the psychology of that. This is an example. So yes, think otherwise. And now let's see, writing advice you can take or leave, of course, but this is a more also to take. One of the best pieces of writing advice is that your character's motivation should be evident within the first chapter of your story. It doesn't need to be much. It could be a line or a few words. But by revealing this want in your character, you immediately set up the bond with your reader and give them a reason to care about your protagonist. Sometimes this advice will work and sometimes it won't. But have the spirit of this idea and make your character's goal clear somewhere near the beginning of your story. So, for example, the character being too much giving, a character, for example, that forgets their own needs. Let's say the motivation is to help somebody currently live, but perhaps this somebody is not particularly good person, but they do it anyways to prove something. This could be the need of a character specifically is the need to be recognized, could be, or the need to be seen, or the need to prove themselves, as I said as well. This is a need. It can be a false need, because perhaps what they need to realize is, oh, I don't need to do this for others anymore. I can focus on myself. And then comes as well, with the psychology, of course, the consequences of this doing years and years. But remember that your character needs to have a motivation at the beginning of the story. We need to understand what is the motivation of the character is at the beginning. So, you may think, why are character goals important in the story? Well, the reason these character goals are so important is that they drive the story. Of course. Without some kind of want or need in your main character, they have no reason to act or purpose the obstacles you throw in their way. Without giving them a purpose reason for living, they're going to do a terrible job of helping you to create a compelling plot. So yes, characters' needs and character goals are very, very important to the story. Very important to the story. Because it helps to advance the plot. And if you think about it, it's all connected. Even a character with motivation without a plot, what's even there? It's just a character and the needs. But if there is nothing to complement their needs, then there's no story as well. So everything is connected. And I think, let me see that. Oh, yes. I think. Let me just see here for the, on my collection of musics, because these could be very, very interesting. Yeah, here. So I'm hoping this will help you with your story. I'm really trying just to. You just see, I think I completely forgot to change because I realized something really was not really good. At least the information I got. So let me see. Okay, I think this one, maybe yes, because the next band is a gothic band. So let me see. Oh yeah, it can be this one. It's going to take a while, but yeah, it can be this one. So yes, I found it. So, okay, so let's now see as you can see, I don't really have much information about this, but I think we can listen now our third gothic band for this week, and it's called The Sweet Kill, Blood Red Roses. So, let's listen to Sweet Kill, Blood Red Roses.
Till the end of days.
Well, and this was the Sweet Kill Blood Red Roses. I'm just going to read a little bit of information just really from what the music was playing. So this is a Los Angeles post-punk band, the Sweet Kill, helmed by Pete Miles, stands as a gothic rock tour de force, a dark presence in the world of cold wave synths and brooding guitars. His voice, like a haunting refrain, pulls at the heartstrings, evoking the desolated beauty of a long-lost romantic era, echoing the laments of London after midnight, Sisters of Mercy, and Joy Division. So this is pretty much information from their website. So, yeah, so I think it would be interesting as well to just show our third metal band this week, and it's called Galeophis Monk, which means in German Heart of Stone. So this is a German atmospheric, melodic, black doom, funeral doom, and black metal band from its 2016. So usually their music explores themes of human tragedies, fairy tales, sadness, and death as well. So a little bit of the brooding now. So let's listen. Galeophis Monk, Heart of Stone. Well, this was Calliope's monk. I will apologize because monk does not mean heart of stone, it means warm heart, so I will apologize for that. But yes, there you have it. The third metal band of this week. So I just want to say that while I was listening this song, well, you guys know I have a cat for my landlord, and that guy was just really peacefully closing his eyes, listening all the music I am here. Well, bless him. Oh, bless Rosie. Listening to his sweet music, isn't it? Oh, beautiful, beautiful cat. So, yeah, he was listening to songs. So, I hope you guys really enjoyed this as well. So now let's return what you have just listened to. So besides I refreshed you about the character development, we talked about the character goals that won't involve anyone's dead wife, because we just saw now that dead wife is a very not particularly good trope and it's overdone. And I think we writers, we can do better than that. We can explore other ways for the characters to have other motivations besides, oh, my wife is deaf, and so now, this is the only motivation I've got. It's just I got revenge or whatever. So, that kind of thing. So, was to see other writing advices as well, to take it all goes off, to leave it as well. And why the goals are important for the characters. We saw that the goals is because it helps with the plot, the moves for the plot. So, now let's see types of character goals, because this will help you realize which ones you can start first, and a good character has both. Yes, a character has both of these character goals. So let's see now the types of goals you have. External. External goals are the types that the outside world can see. Think of a fantasy novel where there is a quest or an object of desire or your hero must recover. It could be their goal to take down an evil overlord or find their soulmate. Other characters are aware of the goal and might even help your protagonist to achieve it. So this is outside external. I think this is very explanatory. Internal. Internal goals are ones only your protagonist knows. Perhaps they are planning to commit a crime and they've kept that little fact to themselves. Perhaps they are planning to escape a loveless marriage or secretly want to become a superhero. This type of goal might be particularly useful in an unreliable narrator type of scenario where not even the reader knows entirely what your protagonist is after. In this case, they might have an external goal that everyone, including the reader, believes to be true, while your character secretly knows they have additional intentions. So the internal one is more the insight. And as I said, imagine your character have both at simultaneously that works simultaneously. So your character might have an internal motive, goal, but that goes also connected with the external one. Many writers really say the character that has both motivations are the good ones. So think of this you can bring to your character as well in your writing. Now, the obstacles and failure, because yes, as I've said, your character doesn't necessarily need to overcome, because sometimes some don't. But let's see obstacles and failure of your protagonist. So, obviously, for the story to be interesting and compelling, your character's goal needs to be difficult to achieve. If they're able to get to their end with nary a stretch, then your tale is going to be a nutter. And this is, in a literary term, something very boring, dull, or a bore. So you want to consider what kinds of obstacles are standing in their way. Are there external forces like a curse they need to break or a fortress they need to storm? Or is something internal, like in the case of a romance novel, where the lack of trust is impeding the relationship? Either way, consider how you will make it really, really hard to get there. And then, when they are almost there, consider how you will throw them a cursed ball, one last time on their one way to fulfillment. Their goals and their inability to achieve them can also relate to their flaws, which helps give more depth to your characters' personalities. So, obstacles and failure, remember, is connected to the goals of your protagonist, but also if you want antagonist as well. And they also are connected with their flaws. Because remember, a character with a flaw is interesting. And if they connect with things they are struggling with, very good as well. So if your character, let's say, is a narcissistic, of course he's going to have problems, to people not paying attention to him, for example, or her as well. It can be her as well. So this is a very, very deep flaw, but it's a flaw, nonetheless. So that's what I'm trying to say. Scene goals versus story goals. Not only does your character have a goal for the whole novel, they also have smaller goals for every scene or chapter you write. This helps keep your story and your protagonist moving forward and helps engage your reader. This can be small or big depending on the scene, but you will often hear people say that every character or scene should have some purpose. By typing a goal to them, you can ensure you are following through on that advice. So remember, scene goals versus story goals. Let's see the list of goals. So, okay, so of course I have here a very long list, but I'm just going to give 3 examples of the goals. So for example, could be change the law or injustice, appease a deity or higher power, free a loved one from captivity, for example. This is types of goals you can explore. And you can see it's very different. Instead of my wife died, it's no, I'm going to free a loved one in captivity. Which is going, you can see the exploration a lot you can do it psychologically as well. And this could be interesting, for example, in a thriller. Or a horror, for example, as well. But you can see just 3 examples of types of goals you've got. I'll just give you here. So, giving your characters a compelling and traumatic backstory. Now, this is this all depends on who you want, what you want to write, but usually this happens. So, giving your characters a believable and compelling backstory is one of the best ways to bring them life to the page. Making it nice and traumatic and also doesn't hurt. There are lots of ways to develop awesome and interesting characters. Fleshing out a character, how to write complex characters, how to write realistic characters, writing characters your readers will love. But we're going to focus specifically on backstories and why and how to create them. We'll talk about what is a backstory and what is the purpose, how to develop the backstory. And I'm not really sure if we're going to wait time for that today, but what I know is, let's make a pause now because of time as well. And I'm going to introduce our 4th and last Gothic band for this week. And it's called Ashes Fallen, Vampira, the Ballad of Mela, which is a very interesting title. So, this is an American modern Gothic rock band from in March 2019. This is pretty much what I could find about them. I'll try to find the lyrics as well, but I couldn't find them. So, let's listen. Ashes Fallen, the Ballad of Mela. Well, this was Ashes Fallen, Vampire, the Ballad of Merlin. I hope you guys really, really enjoy. I really found it interesting what they really say here on their album, at least the image I'm seeing here on YouTube. It says, a fleeting melody out of a fading dream. What an interesting, compelling thing to tell about their album. So yeah, this is what's Ashes Fallen. So I can speak a little bit more about what we just a little bit about the characters, the character development. So we saw the types of character goals, which is internal and external as well. We saw the obstacles and failure, and we saw that of course the character has to at least to have difficulty to achieve their goal. Otherwise, it's just a very simple story. It's not interesting, and your readers are there for their failures, for their obstacles. How do they find solutions? Are they going even to change at all? So, yes, this is why we give our characters obstacles, difficulties, and flaws for them to also to grow and learn, or perhaps never. We see it's also seen goals versus story goals as well. The list of goals I should tell you is just 3 examples, and again, it's just examples, so you can just find other ways. But for example, 3 types of goals could be change a law or injustice, appease a deity or higher power, or free a loved one from captivity, for example. And then we stopped on giving characters a compelling and traumatic backstory. This traumatic, of course, you don't necessarily need to do this, but if you keep with the backstory, they're more complex and things. Characters also have to have that complexity, how they're going to solve the problem as well. So remember that if you keep it traumatic, also keep in mind as well how you're going to explore the trauma, because let's say if you are writing a character in which the trauma is out of your experience, I will highly recommend to reach out to people, or even listen podcasts, or even listen interviews of people that have their experience, for you to get the inspiration for that, how they overcome, for example, the trauma, how they healed, how was the healing process, etc., etc. So now, what is exactly a character backstory, you might ask? So, a character's backstory is everything that happened to them before your novel begins. It comprises the formative experiences of their lives that have shaped the person they are today. It gives weight and purpose to their goals and motivations, and helps determine how they might react in given situations. For example, someone whose parents abandoned them as a baby might have trouble trusting people enough to fall in love. The character will suffer from abandonment issues. See how it is here, the trauma implied in this example. So, if the parents abandon your character as a baby, later on in life they have trust issues, which means also abandonment issues. So you have to see how this compromises your character. Because remember, before the trauma, they're fine. They're normal. After the trauma, they changed. And now they compromise everything they have in life. And now, for example, they cannot trust because of the abandonment, or if you want as well. They can be very clingy as well. They can try to stick with one person because of trust issues as well. So this will depend on people. Again, psychology comes here because, as you know, each person reacts to trauma is very different. So, pardon me. You have to think about the psychology of how you want your character to react to things. So, how much backstory you give your character depends on a variety of factors. Some authors like to go deep and develop pages and pages of backstory to really get into the heads of the characters. Some prefer to wing and wild the story as they go. How much backstory you really need depends on how integral it is to the plot, and, of course, how much time you spend with that character. You probably won't need much or anything for a quiet side character making a cameo, but you are going to want a whole lot about your main characters. Oh my gosh, I'm very sorry. Like your protagonist and antagonist, and any other major characters, to ensure you have a well-rounded story. Oh dear. Oh my gosh, this cough. So, this is pretty much a character backstory. And I'm going to, on the next, probably next week, yes, depending if we're going to do an interview or not, we're going to go back with this as well, so don't worry about it. But what I know is that now I'm going to introduce the last metal band of this week, and it's called Gutter King Mirror. They're a relatively new metal band song, and they're Canadian metal metalcore band formed in August 2018. So, let's now listen to Gutter King Mirror. And this was Gutter King Mirror. I will hope you guys really enjoyed, and it's really missing quite some suckers now before my show hands. Yes, I will hope you guys will have enjoyed this fun and also the song as well. As you know, I really try to bring type of other genres of metal and gothic as well, just to give an idea what is out there, so you can support artists. So once again, guys, enjoy the weather today. I hope it is sunny when you are. And as well, thank you so much for listening to me rambling about writing books and literature. And yes, let's see what happens for next week. If I'm going